Woot woot. Bonus episode. Woot woot. How's it going, guys? I'm back, and this is actually my first bonus episode. I am really excited about this one because I thought it would be fun to mix in every once in a while a reading wrap up from the previous month and then talk about my upcoming month of to be read. So, hi, hello, welcome back if you are listening. If you listen to the past two episodes, I think like most of my bonus episodes are going to be scheduled for Wednesdays. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm really excited because we are now in the month of June, and I really want to do a May reading wrap up just because it would be funsies to do that. Where's my list? Oh my gosh. Okay, so what I do is when it comes to my TBR monthly lists, I will create a list for physical TBR, like books that I want to read, and then audiobooks that I want to listen to. So, I actually was able to accomplish quite a bit this month. So originally I had A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. I had Heavenbreaker by Sarah Wolf. I had Babel by R.F. Kuang, I believe is the name. I don't have it in front of me. R.F. Kuang. I was right on that one. I was taking a wild guess. And then I had Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo on there. A House at the Bottom of a Lake by Josh Malerman I had on there. And then the one physical book that I wanted to read with my kids was The Wild Robot to start that trilogy off. And then when it came to audiobooks, I had Not a Happy Family by Sherry LaPena, I believe her name is. I really should have this stuff, written down. But yeah, that was a thriller. Speak by Laurie Anderson, I believe. I'll check back and edit as I go here. And then I had, let's see, Warcross. Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone, How to Solve Your Own Murder, and The Hazelwood. Out of those, though, when it comes to the physical reads, I finished A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. I finished A House at the Bottom of a Lake by Josh Malerman. I did not get to Ruin and Rising. I did not get to Heavenbreaker, and I did not get to Babel, but I did pick up Watermoon, and I'm still reading through that one. So, and then when it comes to the audiobooks, because I have a lot more time to listen to things, I did finish Not a Happy Family. I did finish Speak. I did finish even Warcross. But I never got to The Hazelwood, How to Solve Your Own Murder, and Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone. Which is okay, because, when it comes to audiobooks, I get that through Libby. I don't know if anybody that listens has heard of Libby, but through my library, public library, I have, a ability to get, ebooks, and I also have the ability of getting audiobooks for absolutely free. So, if something is available, I have a really long TBR list on there too with all these different audiobooks. And I feel like if a book is super lengthy, I'll try and get the audiobook so that I can read along with my physical book. But sometimes I just end up listening to all of it, and I absolutely love it. But then there's some audiobooks that I really cringe because I can't stand the narrator. So it's a little double-edged sword, but, yeah, like I mentioned though, some of the the narrators from the audiobooks that I listened to, it was a little cringy. Um, I'm going to be honest though, I really loved Warcross. That book, like the title has this verbiage that it says it's the Games meets Minecraft. And I was like, two of the things that I absolutely love, and I'm like, wow, they actually found a way to pack that in, and they actually did a really good job. That book was really, really good, and now, like, I kind of want to read the second one, but I'm trying really, really, really hard to stick with the TBR lists that I do have for this year, because I have, like, my own, like, lists for each month that I do want to get to, and then, if I mood read and mix and razzle dazzle it. Who knows? But that the second one, Wild Card, that one is on my razzle dazzle list. If I want to, pick something up and I get through all the other books that I want to get through for this year, definitely recommend it. If you're really into like gamified dystopian type storyline, I definitely recommend Warcross. It was really good. It's like kind of one of the older sci-fi-ish books, but I definitely say it's still worth reading. I personally had really stopped reading YA books. I guess this one is considered a YA sci-fi, but I'm gonna be honest with you, like, it was still really, really, really good. Like, I really liked the main character. I love that there's, like, hackers involved, and it is just all of the stuff that I look for in a sci-fi book all packed into one. And the fact that I didn't really read much of the description, again, when I picked this book up, but the audiobook is absolutely phenomenal. So if you can get a copy of Warcross on audiobook, even if it's through the Libby app, or if you have Hoopla, or I think it's even on Audible, I don't know. I know Spotify also has they have podcasts, and then they have like audiobooks, which I just learned that recently. So I think it's on there too, but definitely check that one out. The next one that I had on audiobook was Not a Happy Family. Whoa, buddy. I thought my family had drama. This one has so much more drama. I was annoyed by like how the family kind of like circled around, and it was really long and drawn out, but I personally love the narrator of this audiobook because she added her own like razzle dazzle spice to it. It was really good. Like, I couldn't stop listening to it because I was like, are you serious? Are you kidding me right now? Like, what did I just listen to? Because it'll make like your family drama look way, way less than what this family drama is. So I personally, like, I have that one physically on my shelf, and I'm keeping that one. As much as I hated how long and like it kind of like went through all the different siblings and characters, and it kind of like did twisties and turnies, but I'm gonna be honest with you, like the level of drama that happened in this book is what really entertained me the most. So I definitely recommend it. I will put the description and author in the podcast description episode. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. If you're on the Discord channel, I'll definitely share it on there. But yeah, definitely recommend that one if you want something to listen to, and it really reminded me a lot of like what is that series, the Housewives of whatever, Atlanta, or like all those reality shows. It felt like it was a lot like that, but it was the drama part, and just it really gave me like this whole like thing of like, this is rich people problems. That's what it felt like. And then I went to a more creepier book called The House Across the Lake. I kind of read this one and listened to it. I was kind of going back and forth between this one, but it was a short book by Josh Malerman. If you've never heard of Josh Malerman, he is the one that did the Bird Box book, book, which is like creepy as heck, horror film. But I have to say, this book like pissed me off so bad at the end, because I was like, really? That's it? That's all you got for me? I'm so intrigued. I want to find out. There were so many questions at the end of this book that just went unanswered, and it was like, made me so angry. And I just, I was drawn in, like, just by the cover, because I was at a tech conference for work, and I stopped during my lunch to, Barnes & Noble's, because I was very intrigued, with, like, a 2-story bookstore. I couldn't help myself. But yeah, this book was a very short one. I was like, oh, I can pull this off, like, really quickly. I think I finished it within, like, a couple of days, to be quite honest with you. But I was just, like, creeped out for the majority of it. And then you get to the ending, and I'm like, God, like, why do you do that? Like, I hate when authors do that. Like, they leave so many questions unanswered, and it really bothers me to the core that they didn't answer those questions. And like I said, I don't want to give things away, and I don't want to be a spoiler, but if you're into that kind of a book, I'd be curious to see how other people felt about that ending. We Used to Live Here was another book that I read. Totally creeped me out because, like, it was about these partners that moved into this new house, and then, like, this family comes up and visits, saying that they used to live there, and, like, they end up staying, and I was, like, creeped out by that. But then the ending, like, really, like, I didn't get the answers I wanted, and it's like, it kind of reminded me of that. Like, it just pisses me off when authors do that, because it's like, now I'm thinking about this book all the time, and now I'm making these assumptions that could have happened or did happen. But I'm keeping it on my shelf just so that I can go back and reread, because every time I get into these types of books, I reread them, and then I find more quirky details, and I'm like, how did I miss that from the beginning? So, I mean, I can't be the only one that goes through that. So I'm just curious, like, if you are listening and you have the same thing that happens, like, just let me know. So, because I really want to know, like, if I'm the only one that, like, kind of feels like this sometimes. I doubt I am, but, and then the final audiobook that I had finished up in May was called Speak. I'm going to grab the book right now because this drives me nuts. Speak by Laurie Anderson. Yes, Not a Happy Family by Shari LaPena. And then A House at the Bottom of a Lake by Josh Malerman. Sorry. And then Warcross was by Marie Lu. Okay. So Speak was something that came out when I was in high school. And mind you, I've been out of high school for quite some time. I graduated in 2004, to give you a little tidbit on how old, like, I really am. And not that you really needed to know that, but the thing is this book's been around for a while. And the topics that are brought up in this, like, it really broke my heart for the main character, and it really... it was a really hard read to read. I would say, like, it's kind of, like, on the same level as My Dark Vanessa. A Little Life is another one that I sobbed my eyes out, but it was a really hard read. And it's characterized and categorized justifully so. But that one, like the audiobook was like really, really good. I definitely like felt like I was kind of going through the school with her, and she's growing up and coming of age, and like she's experiencing all these changes and like the socialness, and it just like really reminded me of like some of the struggles I went through in middle school and high school. And it was just it was very well written, but I really wish I would have had read that sooner. I'm really glad I did the audiobook version, because I probably would have like cried even harder if I was reading that just by myself. But I mean, there's just something different and something new and fresh that came with the audiobook. And if you're into those types of books, where they talk about hard topics, but, you're really rooting for that main character. I think 13 Reasons Why was another one that was like a hard hitter. I never read it, but I watched the series before they cut out all the scenes from all the petitions and stuff. But I think it's important that we have books like this, just because it like really opens up discussions about these types of situations. And the category of this, I know I'm kind of like pedaling back from Tomorrow, Tomorrow, and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin, but that one to me was like, marketed and described as it was like fiction, and this is going to be about like, video games. Well, this one, like, I knew going in this was going to be a hard topic, and like, going in that this is like more of like a contemporary type fiction, and it's talking about like the real topics. So, I definitely recommend the audiobook for this one. I am keeping this one also on my shelf, even though like to me it was like a really sad book. It really kind of changed the mood of like my entire May TBR. But I'm really glad I finally read that one. I'm really surprised I didn't read that like in high school. I think like when looking back on high school, I think we definitely read like books like 1984, Romeo and Juliet. What was the other one? All Quiet on the Western Front. That was another one that we read. Invisible Man. Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, looking back on, like, all the stuff that I've read, like, even, like, through school, like, primary school and all that, they don't call it primary school. It's elementary and middle school and high school around here. But, needless to say, like, I understand, like, why, like, some of these books kind of slipped through the cracks with me, just because there's just so much that had to be done and had to be read and had to be learned that there just wasn't any time at all. So I'm really glad that I've personally revisited a lot of these titles as an adult, because I don't know how my younger version of myself would have handled that. So I'm really glad that I kind of like read it more as an adult and listened to the audiobook than absorbing it in that age bracket. So, yeah, so that's my thoughts on that. So the physical TBR. So A Court of Wings and Ruin, that one took me a really, really, really long time to get through, but I was so determined to just finish it that I just kept pushing along. So like the bulk of my month was wrapped around reading that book, and then starting up Watermoon, and then reading The Wild Robot with my kids and I. And I thought like kind of going to the kids pick first. I personally liked The Wild Robot. I thought it was really cute. It kind of gave us a longer chapter like book to go through, so that like it was like the kids really were engaged with what happens with Roz the robot and the island. So I love that the chapters were short, because it kind of allowed us to like kind of pace ourselves like for story time and stuff. But I definitely recommend it. I know like there is an audiobook of it. which kind of has like the sound effects and the nature sounds and all that. But I think like honestly reading through it with all the illustrations and stuff, it really added its own element, and I thought it was really cute that they centered it around this robot. So but yeah, that was the one, like with my kids, definitely 5-star review on that one. Definitely recommend it for any families that are looking for a new fun book. I'm very appreciative of the friends that had recommended this one to me, because I did ask at the beginning of the year, hey, 12 friends, please recommend 12 different books so that I have one for each month. And that was one of them. So I'm really glad I read that one. A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. Like I said, that one took me a really, really long time. But we dove into the world a little bit further with the war that was coming up with that one. I really liked it. I actually liked it better than the second book, which I guess is everyone's absolute favorite of that series. So I'd say I really got to be introduced to like all the different regions, and that's what I loved most about it. Yeah, there were a few scenes where I was like, this is a tearjerker, and oh my god, I did not see that coming. Which is what I love most about this series is, there's some scenes that absolutely that are coming up, but then there's others that like just throws for left field. And I definitely would say that this is my absolute favorite out of the 3 that I have read so far. Water Moon, I'm still in the process of reading that one. I'm probably not going to finish it because today is the 29th of May. Yeah, so I have 2 days left, and I have lots of stuff to do. So I'm probably not going to finish that one, but it's okay because that one's really cool too, because kind of gave me like The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, and I know I keep referencing this in many of my episodes, but I kind of reflect back on that book just because like it really gave me a perspective of how to like look at things from a different way and a different side, and appreciate life as you make choices through. Water Moon is exactly that. It's about this girl that ends up taking over a pawn shop where the pawn shop doesn't take like material things, it takes your regrets. So each of the people that come in, they are trying to pawn off their regrets in life. And they, once they pawn off those regrets in life, they are free of it. And they like are just like renewed and by like not having that regret sitting on their shoulders. And I thought it was really intriguing because like they talk about like I think it's like Asian Japanese culture, which I thought was really cool, because you get a lot of like perspectives. Like a lot of the books that I've read are in either the UK or they're in the United States or they're in predominantly white background or Mexican background situations in life. Whereas this one kind of gave me a perspective into like Japanese culture and Japanese like kind of background. And I thought that was really cool. I'm still reading through it. I would say I think I'm like 150 pages in. I definitely recommend it. I would say I'm still wanting to find out what happens. It's a much shorter book. I think it's only like less than 400 pages, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I mean, like it was one of my book of the month subscription books that I got. It's actually a much later one. I'm surprised like I picked that one up first, but definitely can't wait to tell you more about it as I get through the book. So I'll let you guys know like when I finish it up and what my final thoughts are. But so far so good. Definitely am interested and invested in it. So now, okay. So May wrap up. Done. Checked off. Yay. Okay. I hope these episodes aren't too long. Please let me know if you feel like my episodes are too long. But we're going to dive into the June physical TBR and my, I think I'm going to also dive into what I'm thinking about for the audiobook TBR too. So for June, I have tried to stay with a similar theme of books that I picked. And these are books that were physically on my TBR. Like, I have a cart, like I mentioned in my first episode, and then I have all these, like, bookshelves behind me. I have a total of 5 bookshelves behind me, and they're all filled. The first shelf is of my Harry Potter collection and the ones that I have read, and then the second, third, and fourth are kind of like a mix of what I've read and then outstanding books that I still need to read. So for my June TBR, I have Damsel by Evelyn Skye. I also have Bravely by Maggie Stiefvater. Oh my god, I cannot pronounce her last name. Stiefvater? I don't know. I hope I pronounced that right. I also have Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. I have Trust in the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. I have Straight On Till Morning by Liz Braswell. I also have The Exiles by Christina Baker Klein. And then I also have Bright Burning Stars by A.K. Small. So, and then as far as my audiobook TBR, I have Never Let Me Go by Kazu Ishiguro, I believe it is. And then Tiny Pretty Things by, I'm just going to say the last name, Clayton, because I cannot even pronounce that first name. I'm not even going to attempt. It's spelled CHARAIPOTRA. But, and then the final one is by Melissa Albert, The Night Country. So, I kind of stuck with a theme of like, hey, let's stick with like fantasy-esque, historical fiction-esque. But I really like things like Peter Pan. I really like Brave from Disney. So I was like, why not? But Damsel, I was like very intrigued. I actually ruined it for myself and actually saw the Netflix series. But I've always been told that the series in movies are always just like a subset of what the actual book is. So that's why I'm still intrigued to read this one. But it is a book about, let's see, beautiful kingdom with a terrible secret. Elodie never dreamed of a lavish palace or a handsome prince. As she grew up in the famine-stricken realm of Inop, her deepest wish was to help her people survive each winter. So when a representative from a rich, reclusive kingdom offers her family enough wealth to save, in exchange for Elodie's hand in marriage, she accepts without hesitation. Swept away to the glistening kingdom of Arya, I think that's how it's pronounced, Elodie is quickly taken in by the beauty of the realm and of her betrothed Prince Henry. But as Elodie undertakes the rituals to become as Aryan princess, doubts prick at her mind as cracks in the kingdom's perfect veneer begin to show. A young woman who appears and vanishes from the castle tower, a parade of torches weaving through the mountains, markings left behind in a mysterious V. Too late, she discovers that Arya's prosperity has been purchased at a heavy cost. Each harvest season, the kingdom sacrifices its princess to a hungry dragon, and Elodie is the next sacrifice. This ancient arrangement has persisted for centuries, leading hundreds of women to their deaths. But the women who came before Elodie did not go quietly. Their blood pulses with power and memory, and their experiences hold the key to Elodie's survival. Forced to fight for her life, this damsel must use her wits to defeat a dragon, uncover Arya's past, and save not only herself, but the future of her new kingdom as well. I personally was like, oh yeah, sign me up, because anytime you add like dragons into the mix, I'm like, yep, you have me completely sold here. So yeah, I mean, I personally like the Netflix series. I think it had Millie Bobby Brown, which I think she's in Stranger Things and a few other things, but she's notoriously known for Stranger Things, which I'm obsessed with that episode, like that series. I can't wait for the final season to come out. I guess the teaser comes out in like 2 days, so I'm like, yay! But yeah, I was really interested in that because I've always been a fan of dragons and that kind of conflict and princesses and things like that. So, Bravely is interesting to me because I know about like Merida and DeBrock, and like my daughter was obsessed with that movie growing up, but this one, let's see, what does the description say? To save her family, she'll have to be braver than ever before. One princess, Merida of DeBrock, needs a change. She loves her family, jovial King Fergus, proper Queen Eleanor, the mischievous triplets in her peaceful, wow, I cannot talk today, peaceful kingdom. But she's frustrated by its sluggishness, each day the same. Merida longs for adventure, purpose, challenge, maybe even someday love. Two gods, the fiery princess never expected her disquiet to manifest by way of Faradak, an uncanny supernatural being tasked with rooting out rot and stagnation, who appears in DeBrock on Christmas Eve with the intent to demolish the realm and everyone within it. Only the intervention of the Kalak, an ancient entity of creation, gives Merida a shred of hope. A bargain convince her family to change within the year or suffer the eternal consequences. 3 voyages under the watchful eyes of the gods, Merida leads a series of epic journeys to kingdoms near and far in an attempt to inspire revolution within her family. But in her efforts to save those she loves from ruin, has Merida lost sight of the clan member grown most stagnant of all, herself? 4 seasons that will secure DeBrock's future or destroy it forever. I personally was like, okay, I can get behind this. But yeah, like apparently it's like a kind of like a spin-off, like what if this, with Merida and her family. Which kind of leads me to Straight On Till Morning. So, Straight On Till Morning by Liz Braswell. As I understand it, this series is more of like, you know, yeah, this one is about, what if Wendy went to Neverland with Captain Hook instead of Peter Pan? Wendy is 16 and keen for adventure when she is given the opportunity to travel to Neverland on board a pirate ship instead. In doing so, Wendy makes a deal with the devil, but Neverland isn't quite the same as in her stories and when Captain Hook reveals his evil plan. It is up to Wendy and a less than friendly Tinkerbell to save Peter Pan and his world. I personally was like, yeah, sign me up. I got the special edition one too from Half Price Books, so I'm really excited about this one. It looks like it's not too thick, but maybe it is. It's about 500 pages, but it's okay. But like I said, I really like, like the traditional Peter Pan like books and stuff like that. So, okay. So Phantasma. I've been hearing a lot of things about this one. This one's by Kaylee Smith. I don't really know too much about this one. I've been told that this is like, I don't know, like Maze Runner or The Hunger Games meets like gothic fantasy. I don't know. Let's read the description together and we'll see what we think. Phantasma only has 2 rules. Stay alive and don't fall in love. Okay. When Ophelia discovers her mother brutally murdered, there is no time to grieve. She has inherited the family's fearsome magic and enormous debt. Circumstances go from dire to deadly. However, when Ophelia's sister decides to pay off the loan by entering Phantasma, a competition where contestants rarely escape alive, and the victor is granted a single wish. The only way for Ophelia to save her sister is to win. But Phantasma is a cursed manor full of twisting corridors and lavish ballrooms staffed by enticing demons and fatal temptations. And Ophelia must conquer all 9 floors to succeed. If her fears don't overtake her first, when a charming, arrogant stranger claims he can help, Ophelia knows better than to trust him. But with her sister's life on the line, Ophelia can't afford to turn him away. She'll just need to ignore the overwhelming, dark attraction drawing them closer and closer together. Because in Phantasma, the only thing deadlier than losing a game is losing your heart. Okay. So we got a competition to save a sister. Okay. Interesting. This is a thick book, too. Oh, boy. I get really intimidated by thicker books. Just because, like, my attention span is like, whoopee. Let's see. Those are notes. Yeah, 492 pages. I really hope I can get the audiobook for this one. Because this might be one of those situations where I need to kind of mix and match. But I can kind of see where, like, you know, Hunger Games kind of pulls into this, but yeah, I got that one from Book of the Month. Every time like I see that I have like a Book of the Month, I'm really glad that I like canceled that subscription, because I have so many books that I never read and like I really need to read. And I'm glad I'm not spending that money anymore, because priorities, you know. Okay, so we got 3 more books to talk about. I'm really excited about this one, Tress of the Emerald Seed by Brandon Sanderson. I guess this is one of his, like, secret projects. The one that he specifically did for his wife, and I thought that was really sweet. But, yeah, I guess he, like, brings us deeper into the Cosmere universe. Riveting tale that will appeal to fans of Princess and the Bride. I've seen that movie, but I've never read it, but I'm intrigued, actually. The only life Tress has known on her island home in an emerald green ocean has been a simple one, with the simple pleasures of collecting cups brought by sailors from faraway lands and listening to stories told by her friend Charlie. But when her father takes him on a voyage to find a bride and disaster strikes, Tress must stow away on a ship and seek the sorceress of the deadly midnight sea. Amid the spore oceans where pirates abound, can Tress leave her full life behind and make her own place, sailing a sea where a single drop of water can mean instant death. Ooh, that sounds cool. Oh, there's even a letter from him. Dear reader, I started writing this in secret as a novel just for my wife. She urged me to share it with the world, and alongside 3 other secret novels. With the support of readers worldwide, it grew into the biggest Kickstarter campaign of all time. I'm excited to present this first book to you at last. A different type of Brandon Sanderson story. One I wrote when there were no time constraints, no expectations, and no limits on my imagination. Come be part of the magic. And it's actually signed on the back. Oh, that's really cool. Oh, man. I haven't read too many of Brandon Sanderson, but I'm intrigued. This is really cool. I may end up having to bump this way up because I really want to read that. Okay, so The Exiles by Christina Baker. I think this one is the historical fiction pick that I have. Yes, this is. This is about the individuals that get exiled from, I think, Australia. I think. Oh, the back just has thing. I guess we'll find out. I don't know. Kristen Hanna has a quote on here, but it looks like I got a signed copy as well. I don't know how I get half of these. Okay. Oh yeah, Australia 1840, a country into which England is rapidly pouring its prisoners, including an increasing number of women. With the indigenous population forcibly relocated, promised land of their own, they will never receive. The growing population of former convicts is beginning to create a society in the land beyond the seas. Against this backdrop, master storyteller Christina Baker Klein brings us the intertwined stories of these unforgettable characters. A sheltered governess seduced by her employer's son, arrested on trumped up charges and sentenced to 7 years transport. The canny young thief, midwife, and herbalist she befriends aboard the ship, and an orphaned indigenous girl taken from her people and brought to live with the family of the new governor of Van Diemen's Land. While life in Australia is punishing and often unfair, it is also for some an opportunity for redemption, for a new way of life, for unimagined freedom. That sounds really interesting. Apparently historical fiction. Definitely probably will likely pick that one up on audiobook, just because I really don't know how I'm going to fit some of these like really beefy books like physically in, especially when I'm still reading Watermoon. But yeah, and then I have 2 Brightly Burning Stars and Tiny Pretty Little Things. Tiny Pretty Things. Wow, I cannot talk today. These are about like a ballet company. I thought, hey, bring on the drama with dancing and dancing community. And then these other 2, Never Let Me Go by Kazu Garu. Looks like this one I'm definitely gonna have to look further into, but the cover looks pretty cool. I guess it won a Nobel Prize, so apparently it's legit. And then Melissa Albert, I've heard really good things about her too. She kind of uses like fairy tale spin-offs and then creates stories based off of that. I love that kind of thing. I like the Grimm's fairy tales and things like that too, so but yeah, if you've read any of these books that I mentioned, please let me know. I also have my Discord channel if you want to chat with me. I'm hoping to grow that very soon. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this bonus episode. I'm trying to get into a rhythm of, doing some bonus content on top of like the regular schedule that I have for this podcast. So, let me know your thoughts. I could always use the advice and, I always want to improve. And this is fun for me. Just kind of like learning through this process. So, all right. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.